Everybody, please put your cell phones on silent and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Paul.
Here.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember Whitman.
Here.
Councilmember Hatton.
Here.
Councilmember Starkey.
Here.
Mr. Lamack. Mr. Lewis. Mr. Holstein. Mr. Weinthal. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. For the record, Councilmember Starkey is with us by phone. Hope you're feeling better soon.
Thank you.
No, she's here. I'd also like to recognize, but we're going to perhaps hear from him later, council member from Southwest Ranches, Bob Hartman is here. Thank you for being here tonight. We're going to start off with the presentation. The Task Force for Ending Homelessness is a presentation. Vice President of Programs and the CEO, and our Officer Chastain, who was very involved in that program as well. Welcome, and come on up. And are you Carl or Jacob?
I am Carl.
Okay. Carl Falconer, the CEO.
I'm Carl Falconer. I'm the CEO with Task Force for Ending Homelessness.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, council members. Thank you, town staff, for having us this evening and for allowing us to present. I'm just going to go over a couple of slides, and I'm going to turn it over to the real heroes here, my Vice President of Programs, Jacob, and Lisette is going to help us from the city of Fort Lauderdale as well. The Task Force for Ending Homelessness has been around for 20 years. Let me see if I can get the clicker to work here. Our mission is really to get our homeless neighbors off the street. We use proactive outreach, and we provide placement into programs for them. Our guiding principle is meeting people where they are, which gives us kind of an advantage over a lot of other people who are trying to help them, because we really go out to wherever they are, literally out on the streets, abandoned buildings, alleyways, anywhere that people are. We have 3 different types of services that we provide. We provide street outreach services, we provide housing navigation services, and we also provide a Elder Haven and Hope program. Our street outreach is really geared around getting people off of the streets into emergency shelter. Our housing navigation teams, as Jacob is going to explain more in depth, is really about placing people directly into housing. And then our Elder Haven and Hope program is for people who are over 60 who are unsheltered. And that's a special program that we have specifically to get them off temporarily sheltered and then move them into housing from there. So I'll turn it over to Jacob, and he can take it from here.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Happy to be here with you tonight. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what we've done so far in the town of Davie. When one of our partners, the Broward Behavioral Health Coalition, came to us a little less than a year ago and said they had some extra funding for a one-time funding opportunity, and we were able to choose where that funding went. So we decided to dedicate that to the town of Davie, along with the most western part of Hollywood along the 441 corridor, and serve our most vulnerable neighbors here in the town. And since we've been doing that, along with Officer Chastain from the town of Davie Police Department, just this year, 20 people have gotten off the streets in this town. And so thanks to the rapid responsiveness that we provide to the town of Davie Police Department, as well as the response to actually the neighbors and their needs, and making sure that their needs get met, whether that be through health care, whether that be through social services, mental health and substance abuse treatment, and very importantly, housing. So I'm going to let Lisette Palmero, who's from the city manager's office at the city of Fort Lauderdale, talk a little bit about how we partner with municipalities, and then explain to you a little bit about what we hope to do with the town of Davie.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. My name is Lisette Palmero, and I'm the Program Manager of the Homeless Initiatives from the City of Fort Lauderdale. So we have partnered with the task force since July of 2022, and it has been a an outstanding partnership. We can't say enough good things. So we have the numbers right before you. In the time that we've been working together, there have been 36 placements, permanent housing placements. So this is really something amazing. Our clients are going from the streets directly to housing, which is what we want. We are so thankful for our, partnership of us working together that we are even now looking into funding a second housing navigation team for the new fiscal year. So they're all great people, and we're definitely thankful for them. So we hope that they can establish something here in the town of Davie for you all as well.
Thanks, Lisette.
Thank you.
So moving along, what we see in Broward County, and I should back up a little, every year the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development asks that continuums of cares, geographical areas across the country, go out and count the number of people experiencing homelessness on the street and determine what their needs are through a needs-based survey. And so when we did that in 2023, we found that just over 1,600 unduplicated people are sleeping on our streets in Broward County on any given night. And we estimate that anywhere between 20 to 40 people on any given night are staying right here in the town of Davie. We know right now, as of today, we have 3 families, single mothers with multiple children, living out of their vehicles in a park here in the town of Davie. So it's not isolated to other areas in Broward County, but rather it's across the whole county and, frankly, our entire nation. So what we at Task Force do is we help people find their way home. And one of the ways that we do that is through housing navigation, but we also know that we need support from our community leaders like you all to increase the affordable housing stock that our community has. We also know that we need to target people before they become homeless, making sure that those single mothers with their children don't have to worry about redistricting to a new school or finding out where those children are going to sleep at night, but rather receive the support they need before it becomes too late. And then, like I started off with, we like to help people get right into a home, and we do that through something called housing navigation. So I'm going to ask Officer Chastain to come up and say a few words about what we've done with her, and then we'll wrap it up with any questions from you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for putting me on the spot. I've had the pleasure of working with the task force for the last couple of years, building this relationship we have today. Just to put it in perspective, last year we were able to get 16 people off the street in a matter of 12 months. I know we already went through the numbers, but that number as of today is actually 23 in a matter of 8 months. So there's a huge impact that we're making out on the streets. The pilot program and the team I'm working with, I call them, they're out, within hours. We speak every day. We meet every other week to review the cases specific to Davie. There's the work we're doing out here. I think the numbers speak for themselves, and it's really improving the quality of life here in Davie. I think you're going to go through the numbers for the pit count here shortly, but I can't say enough good things about this relationship that we've built, and it's just completely invaluable. It's making a huge difference. I hope all of you are seeing it out driving around the town every day. So.
Thank you. And we certainly can't miss
Thank
her
you.
awesome truck that
Very
drives around
proud
town,
of
right?
this, of what she's done.
So, we had a quite lengthy success story, and I'm not going to read the whole thing for you all. I know time's very valuable here, but there was a very important story of someone who was panhandling along University Drive and State Road 84 for decades. And Jennifer is now living in her own home. She's sober, and she's reconnected with her family. And that was possible because of the work of Officer Chastain and the partners that she has with us at the task force. At this time, I want to turn it back to you all, see if you have any questions for us. Otherwise, we just want to really thank you for allowing us to present you with this information here today, and truly appreciate your leadership to the town.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're all very happy to have this kind of involvement, and we've worked for many years with our local task force. And I think Officer Chastain is doing a great job, and we appreciate everything that she's done. Does anybody have any questions? Carol?
Hi, Carol Hatton. Are you participating in the hot weather distribution of supplies?
We are, in
Could you
fact.
just mention something about that?
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilmember. In fact, when the hot weather came out, one of the first things we did was start to talk to our partners about how we could resolve the emergency that our people on the streets were experiencing. And one of the ways we're doing that is by passing out those basic need supplies like cold water, cooling towels, portable fans, but very importantly, partnering with our emergency shelters to actually get people off the streets so that they have a place to go, stay inside cold AC, and ultimately move into housing from there and hopefully not come back onto the streets in Davie.
Thank you. Anybody more?
I just want to say the work you all are doing is amazing. The proper words can't come to me because I'm just in awe of what you all do. And God bless you guys for doing it, taking care and helping these people. I think it's incredible. I hope your program grows and the success is just beginning. I love this. I think it's fantastic. And I thank all of you. This is incredible. It's amazing. Thank you.
Mayor?
Thank you.
something else.
Yes.
I don't know if, as many people know, what the amount of children, of kids from school are homeless. And our last count was over 4,000 students in Broward County were homeless. So the best thing that's happened is there's a computer program, the HMRS, I don't know the right, I never get numbers, that they're connecting the homeless squad with the children. So you're doing a really good job. And I know that Davie gets a lot of compliments when we have our meetings and stuff, so I know I'm very proud of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership.
Michelle?
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you for the presentation. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go on to the consent agenda. Items 11 and 12 are being withdrawn. We don't need to take any action on that. Item 15, a variance. The applicant is requesting to table that to September 20th. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda without 11, 12, and 15.
Is there a
Second it.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor, just want to clarify, it's not the consent agenda, it's the motion to table number 15.
Oh, that's not on the consent agenda?
No, she said motion to approve the consent agenda. It's not the consent agenda that you're voting on item 15.
Right.
On the tabling of the item 15, I just want to put that on
So
the
you
record.
want to
I thought you
restate?
were asking for a consent agenda.
No.
motion.
Well, right now,
Okay.
the first resolutions, 11 and 12, were on the consent agenda.
Right. that's
Number
right.
15 is quasi-judicial, and it's being tabled.
So you
so
want
you
a
need
motion
correct
for
your-
15?
Correct.
15.
A motion to table item 15.
Motion to table item 15.
Thank you. And it was seconded.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay. On the consent agenda, I'd like to pull number 7. Michelle, do you have anything? Marlon,
I'm sorry.
do you have anything to pull?
No,
on?
no, nothing. I'm good.
Carol?
No.
Ms. Starkey?
Do you need 3 pulled?
None for me, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, okay. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda without number 7?
Motion to approve consent agenda without number 7.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. On number 7, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Lamack. This is the agreement amendment that was voted on this past week by Southwest Ranches.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, members of the public staff, Richard Lamack, Town Administrator. As you know, we have been negotiating a new public safety contract with the town of Southwest Ranches for several months. And thanks to all of you, we were able to present a complete package to the town of Southwest Ranches for consideration. I'm very pleased to share with you that the town of Southwest Ranches approved the new contract for public safety services, and that's referring to police and fire, on August 10th, 2023 at their regularly scheduled town council meeting, and it's now brought before you tonight for your consideration and approval. In attendance at the night, we were at Southwest Ranches meeting. Mayor Paul joined me, as well as Deputy Town Administrator Marciano Lewis, Philip Holste, Assistant Town Administrator, Chiefs Julie Downey, and Chief Steve Kinsey, and their staff, as well as Mr. Ackerman, Mr. Weinthal, and myself. On that evening, it was apparent from the comments shared by the town of Southwest Ranches leadership that they are extremely pleased with the manner in which we deliver services, which included response times, information sharing, availability, cost, and professionalism. They also embraced how our communities have similarities: the equestrian lifestyle, agriculture, and open space, as well as we have the specialty skills and equipment to address any and all situations. I want to thank the town of Southwest Ranches mayor, vice mayor, and council members. And tonight, Councilmember Hartman, thank you for being here representing everyone, for all their kind words and assistance, as well as Town Administrator Andy Burns. Without all their input and dedication, we would not be able to get to this point tonight. So what I'd like to do is just take a few minutes just to share with you the salient points of the contract. With that, you'll note that the contract is a 10-year contract beginning on October 1st of 2023. The contract is for fire rescue services had been in place since 2012, and the contract was amended in 2013 to include the police services. All of Davie's police, fire personnel, and equipment will be available to Southwest Ranches. There is an annual consumer price index adjustment. It starts at 4.5%, increases to 5% from years 2028 through 2023. The fire staffing will increase to meet the growing demand by April 1st of 2027 and include 9 additional firefighters. And the Southwest Ranches volunteers will retain their charter. For the contract highlights, the existing fire station will be relocated and newly constructed close to Griffin Road, and it will be done in consultation with Davie to ensure that we can retain our optimum response times and contractual commitments. The ALS, or the Advanced Life Safety Unit, and the fire apparatus will meet the same specifications as they are with our current fleet, and will be given, the specifications will be provided by us and will be involved in that purchase as well. There's some obvious mutual benefits in having this relationship and the continuation of it. And as you can see, we have localized sharing of services, which is obviously more cost effective. We are retaining both our communities' individual identities, even though we are similar in lots of ways. The elected officials, all of you, and I know the town of Southwest Ranches electeds, I know administratively and operational personnel have exceptional relationships. Our town can be proud, as they are, that we share in our recognitions of our fire and police awards that we have both nationally and locally, both individually and agency-wise. And the services that we now provide and have been providing is for life safety services is a combined 50 square miles with over 115,000 residents, and we're able to keep all our response times at a wonderful rate for life safety. We also have the best equipment, training, most efficient response model, and I believe we're exemplary for our staffing in Broward County. And lastly, which is really important to all of us, hope we never need it, but when it comes to emergency operations, be it hurricane or other type of disaster, when that activation happens, we have combined uniformity to be able to address all our citizens' needs. And lastly, just in closing, I wanted to recognize the entire Davie team for their expertise, time, and flexibility to bring this to this particular point. I also want to send my public appreciation to the Southwest Ranches administrative team led by Andy Burns, the town administrator, Russell Moon as Assistant Town Administrator. I know we all know Russell, and I'm really glad that Russell was on both, representing both sides, because he has intimate knowledge of both our municipalities. We had Emil Lopez, who is their Finance Administrator, and Keith Polikoff, the Town Attorney. So with that brief presentation, Mayor, I turn it back over to you to see if you have any questions before you consider the item.
Does anybody have any questions? Having been there, I really appreciate everything that was done to bring this together. And Councilmember Hartman, would you like to say a few words?
Please. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Right spot? Okay. All right. I'm here to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of you up on the dais, because it's your leadership over the years that have built a truly excellent public safety organization. I want to tell you a quick story about how well Davie is branded and how people in our town recognize Davie. So just before the pandemic, when the K-9 team was out at one of our town events, I'm watching, they're always great to watch. And these little kids are going nuts in front of me, and their parents, everybody's excited to watch the dogs go through their routine. And I went over to the parents when it was finished, and I said, do you live in town? That's always the first question. Yeah? Have you had any interaction with the Davie PD? Oh, yeah. And then I realized you have to ask the questions, but that can go a lot of different ways. Yeah, my son was whatever. No, they've had a couple of interactions at their house. They've had a call at PD. How was your interaction? How was your contact with them? Fantastic. Wonderful. And I probably asked 4 or 5 questions, and the answer was always the same. It's because they're Davie. Everybody has expectations. You guys deliver excellence through these services, and I'm here to thank you for it. I'm also here to thank the administration. This was a slog. But I believe that the 2 administrations put together a contract that represents a plan that's going to facilitate our growth and continue to replace equipment and do everything we need to maintain the groups that we're working with. We have had terrific interactions. I mean, I know the chiefs very well, and I can't say enough about them and all their professionals. I don't want to keep repeating everything you said. That was a great summary. So again, thank you to everybody, and we're in it for 10 years together now, and thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to be addressing it later, but I've been in consultation with the police chief in reference to the horses that have disappeared under dubious circumstances. So we're very concerned about everything that happens in Southwest Ranches, and we appreciate that we have this relationship. So could I have a motion to approve number 7, which is the agreement amendment for the fire and police services in Southwest Ranches?
Motion to agree, number 7, agreement between Southwest Ranches and Davie.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck. Okay. Going on to public hearings. We'll start with number 13, which is a code amendment. This is the second and final reading. Mr. Weinthal, would you please read the title?
Yes, Mayor. Code Amendment, an ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending Chapter 9, Article 6, Sections 9.5 and 9.34 of the Town of Davie Code of Ordinances titled Penalties and Remedies, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. This is an open public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this, for or against? You may come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any discussion from council? Okay, seeing none. Would someone like to make a motion to approve Code Amendment number 13?
Motion to approve Code Amendment number 13.
Second.
Second?
Roll call, thank you.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 14, also a code amendment. Mr. Weinthal, would you please read the title?
Yes, Mayor. Code Amendment, an ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending Chapter 6, Article 2, Section 60, titled Costs Incurred by the Town and Assessment of Lien, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
This is an open public meeting. Anyone that wishes to speak on this can come forward now. Seeing none, I'll close the public meeting. Anyone from council have any comments? No? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve Code Amendment number 14.
Motion to approve Code Amendment 14.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, may I have roll call, please?
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 15 was tabled. Number 16 is a special permit. This is quasi-judicial?
Quasi has been waived.
Okay, thank you. Would you please read the item by title?
Yes, Mayor. Special permit, a resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, taking final action on special permit application SE 22-063 KC Express Car Wash, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak for or against this? Would the applicant like to make a comment, or?
Hi, John Voight, doing Marlsworth on behalf of the applicant. We have the applicant here and the team. If you have any questions, this is in companion with the site plan that was approved on consent, so I hope that you would likewise approve this. Certainly, if there are any questions, we're prepared to respond.
Okay, are there any
Thank you.
questions? Thank you very much. Let me just comment, having had another issue that came before us on a car wash. This is the appropriate location for a car wash. I rest my case. I'm never going to let you guys forget it. You know that. So, did I close the public hearing?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll close the public hearing. Okay. Is there any comment from council? I guess mine was the only one, right? Can we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve 16 special permit.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay. This closes the public hearing portion of the meeting. We're going to go on to announce the next item, which is 17 Affordable Housing Advisory Committee appointments. This is a prescribed. Do you have the list there handy?
No, it was in the backup, I believe.
I forgot to
They're all
bring a
interested
copy.
in being reappointed.
What?
They're all interested in being
Oh, okay.
reappointed.
So is there a motion to reappoint all the members of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee?
Motion to reappoint all members of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. Do we have any committee or board appointments? Are we all caught up on that? Okay. The next thing is something that we've been looking forward to for a while. This is the recommendation from the Public Art Advisory Committee, and Mr. Pullman is going to go through the item with us.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council, administration, staff, and members of the public. Jeff Pullman, Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Director. Tonight I'll be providing an update on the town's first public art project following the adoption of the Public Art Master Plan, which was spearheaded by our Planning and Zoning Division. On February 15th, Town Council unanimously agreed and approved the Public Art Advisory Committee to proceed with posting the open call for artists for the utility traffic box wrap program and bring back recommendations for artwork and selections of locations for Town Council consideration. The utility box wrap project will focus on beautifying entry points in the town of Davie by wrapping the traffic signal utility boxes with unique one-of-a-kind artworks. The open call to artists was advertised via social media, the town's website, and press releases, and then posted on Cafe, an online public art platform, from April 14th to May 26th. The theme of the call was "What Does Davie Mean to You?" with a highlight on equestrian and rodeo, agricultural, wildlife, nature and environmental, and historical significance. Amateur and professional artists were able to submit up to 5 images for consideration, but they had to live within Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, or Monroe counties. So we focused on local artists for this call. We received a total of 198 submissions, of which 123 met the geographical requirements. And then the Public Art Advisory Committee created blind judging or jurying between May 31st and June 14th. And then each rated the 123 submissions on a scale of 1 to 7, with 7 being the highest. So from that, at the conclusion of the application deadline, the committee member scores were then averaged, and on July 5th, at the scheduled Public Art Advisory Committee meeting, we presented the top 25 scored submissions, as well as the submissions from all Davie residents regardless of their score, for a total of 38 submissions for consideration, which the committee then shortlisted to 18 submissions with 4 alternates in the case that we can't reach an agreement with the artist or the image doesn't work for the reproduction. So the town of Davie has a total of 62 traffic signal utility boxes throughout the town. And as mentioned, the first open call identified 18 locations to be wrapped, focusing on major thoroughfares and entry points into the town of Davie, which are highlighted with a green circle on the map in front of you. And it's important to note that the CRA has previously wrapped several boxes within the CRA area, which are highlighted in green. So here's a quick highlight of the committee's recommendations for the utility box program, as well as the locations for each one of the recommended artworks. I'm going to begin in Northwest Davie and work our way along 595 and the 84 corridor, then on the east side and work our way back on the south and then back to the north, and I'll highlight each one one by one. So please note that some of the images are different sizes and layouts. We will work with the utility wrap vendor, if this is approved, to determine whether the artwork will wrap the entire box, if it may be duplicated on front and back with partial of the sides. But some of these images we'll have to work with our vendor to determine the best layout for each box. And it's important to note as we go through these, and I have the artists listed as well as where they submitted from and where they're residents of, but 5 of the recommendations are from Davie residents. So this image was proposed at the location of Southwest 14th Street and Shotgun Road. It's on the southeast corner of the intersection. This is at Southwest 136th Street and Shenandoah Parkway, or Southwest 5th Street. It's on the northeast corner of that intersection. It's the Flamingo Road and State Road 84, located on the southwest corner of the intersection. This is Hiatus Road and State Road 84 on the southwest corner of that intersection. This is Nob Hill and State Road 84, located on the southeast corner near the Davie Police Department. This is South Pine Island Road and 84, located on the southwest corner. South University Drive and 84, located on the southwest corner. Davie Road and State Road 84, located on the southeast corner. State Road 7 and Oaks Road, located on the southwest corner. State Road 7 and Griffin Road, located on the northwest corner. So State Road 7 and Griffin Road on the southwest corner of that intersection. Sterling Road and Davie Road, located on the northwest corner. North University Drive and Davie Road Extension, located on the northeast corner. Sterling Road and Pine Island Road, located on the northeast corner of that intersection. This location has two boxes, a large and small, which are pictured there. This image is for the larger utility box, located at South Pine Island Road and Orange Drive, which is the northeast corner of that intersection. And this image would be for the smaller box next to it.
Nice.
This image is at the corner of Dykes Road and Sterling Road on the northeast corner. This image was picked for Griffin Road and the I-75 southbound entrance located on the southwest corner of that intersection. The 4 alternate recommendations, so these would be, if approved, would be used in case we can't reach an agreement or the images submitted by the artist don't duplicate well for the wrap. And these don't have locations identified as the alternates. So again, this is a snapshot image of all the locations. It's 18 traffic utility boxes located at major intersections and thoroughfares, focusing on the entry points here in Davie. And I just want to commend the Public Art Advisory Committee for their hard work and dedication to this process. They had 123 applications to review with the hard task of shortlisting to 18 with a few alternates. So I think they spent 2 hours deliberating and going back and forth, but they were definitely dedicated to this process. So the next steps, tonight we're presenting the Public Art Advisory Committee's recommendation for Town Council consideration and approval. If approved, we'll work to execute agreements with individual artists. And then following the execution of the agreements, we'll work with the wrap vendor that we procured for on permitting, field verifying the locations, and installation. The total anticipated cost, including the compensation for each of the artworks for the one-time reproduction, is $16,100 to wrap the 18 boxes, which has been allocated within the capital improvements projects budget. So with that, I will take any questions, but I'll leave this up so you can see them all together.
Really very exciting. And it's a great variety, and it touches on everything that we're all about with nature and horses and the environment and everything. So did you just pick those on the major roadways? I see some of the internal roadways are marked. But also, I noticed there's 2 or 3 boxes at the intersection of 145th and 26th. But that's not on this map. So there are other locations that we have boxes that could be wrapped that are not involved in this first setup.
So this map and the project identified traffic signal boxes. So that's why those aren't pictured on this map, because some of those are private utilities, could be FP&L, Comcast.
Oh, so we can't wrap a private utility?
Not necessarily. I know I talked to Jonathan about this, but these are all owned by Broward County traffic signals. They already have an established permitting process and approval process for these type of public art applications, and this is what was identified in the master plan. The locations were picked and recommended by the committee to try to highlight people entering Davie, to let you know, hey, you're in Davie now, and to beautify those corners.
Okay, very good, because someone had asked me about that, thinking that we were going to have some wraps in the neighborhood. So
something we can look at in the future, for sure.
That's understandable. I appreciate that. So can we approve this now, or do you have to bring it back as a resolution?
You could give the thumbs up now.
Okay. We have 4. Susan, do you have your thumb up?
My thumb's up. Thank you. It's a good project.
And notice there is an owl in there, so.
I saw that. Beautiful. And sunflowers, my favorite. Perfect. And horses.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you
we
very
look
much.
forward to the next steps. Now, we've got to be proud of ourselves. We've got some really neat initiatives that help us to stand out, not only in the community here, but also in Broward County. Now we're going to go on to old business. Mr. Lemack is preparing to make a presentation on the red light camera safety program.
Thank you, Mayor, again, council members. Just wanted to talk about red light camera safety program. And before I do, I would just like to talk a little bit about the program highlights here. Our red light safety program has been in place for 12 years as an additional law enforcement tool towards promoting traffic calming, driver awareness, and modification of unsafe driving actions. The contract is set to expire on October 7th, 2023. On the investigative side alone, during the past 2 years, the Davie Police have used and provided 155 videos from the cameras to identify, solve, prosecute traffic crashes, fatalities, and other crimes. With the paid violations, we have been able to purchase 25 license plate readers, or known as LPRs, that are used throughout the town of Davie for crime prevention, detection, and apprehension. This program, since inception, has and continues to provide additional coverage for law enforcement at specific intersections that have a high propensity for crashes, and the program is cost neutral. In our business rule questionnaires, they're known as BRQs. What they are is they set the rules of the program on how we issue violations. We have never issued violations for right on red, as those are interpreted more as a revenue source than an intersection safety goal. In addition, the town places intersection signage on traffic signal mast arms to provide advance notice for driver awareness. Our traffic infraction enforcement officer is retired Assistant Police Chief Tom Demery, and he exemplifies exceptional customer service by assisting violators with questions and access to information so they can make informed decisions. As Davie is centrally located in Broward County, it's important to remember that 10 of the 31 municipalities bordering our jurisdictions have resulted in a tremendous increase in the number of vehicles transversing Davie. With only 9% of all the violations issued go to Davie residents, only 9% of Davie residents. It's important for others that are driving through our community that are not familiar with our rural lifestyle, including equestrian riders, to modify their behavior while driving for everyone's safety. And as this last bullet indicates, we're seeing driver behavior modification for safer driving, as 93% of all people that receive a violation do not have a repeat violation. I'm seeking Town Council's interest tonight in renegotiating an additional 3-year agreement with Vera Mobility to continue with our red light camera safety program. This would be with the same cost neutrality language that we've had in place for 12 years. And as traffic continues to increase, should Council consider and provide direction to extend the program, this would be an opportune time to consider adding additional cameras. The additional cameras that we would add would be based on a criteria of heavy traffic volume intersections with a high propensity and or for crashes and or other related incidences. Our monitoring this over the last few years have indicated that we would recommend, if that was the case, the intersections of University Drive and Griffin Road, both east and westbound, as well as University Drive, north and southbound at the intersection of Kolsky Boulevard, should that be a consideration. Kolsky is the, I know it's Kolsky, I use that word because that's the actual name. Kolsky is the entrance that you would use to get to Costco or to Chick-fil-A, if you would. And it is known as Kolsky Boulevard, the developer of the tower shops, which is where
Yeah, that's a
the
good
name
idea.
came
Okay.
from. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Ken. Not often heard. Mayor, that concludes my presentation. I turn it over to you for the next steps.
Okay, this is, I really appreciate the report and the statistics. And you know, in the last several years, I have not had any negative feedback on the Davie program. In fact, just the opposite. The investigative resources of the videos alone for criminal investigations have been invaluable. So I think they're doing more than they were originally designed to. I'm also pleased we are able to offset law enforcement resources by purchasing equipment with excessive funds that are received. I was going to bring something up myself on a similar topic in the future, but with your request, now would be probably an opportune moment. I understand that the Florida legislature has approved and the governor has signed House Bill 657, Speed Detection in School Zones, effective July 1st, 2023. And I'd like to explore this as an addition to our traffic safety program. You know, we have 13 schools in Davie, 3 high, 6 elementary, 4 middle schools. Now, and it's difficult for our law enforcement officers to be at all of them all the time, every day, twice a day. And we all know that the children are our most precious resource, and I'm looking for any method to slow traffic down in the school zones and avoid any incidents. Therefore, with council support, I would like to renew our red light camera safety program and introduce school zone camera additions and include a vast public education campaign with the goal to inform and educate drivers while remaining hopeful that no violations will occur. I think that having a school zone in my neighborhood and the difficulty of the roadway, we have the church on one side with a school and Western High School on the other side. And I see, if I try to remember not to go by there during the dismissal times, and I'm never out early enough to be there in the morning. So I see so many violations, and it's like I say, you know, it's impossible for the police to be there all the time. And one of the violations is the backup of the traffic. People get impatient and they pass. This is a 2-lane road. They go into the oncoming traffic with no concern whatsoever to pass, and they are certainly not doing this. They're doing way above the speed limit. So if cameras were in place there, I think we would see a lot of behavior modification. So I really look forward to that. Does anybody have any other questions?
Mayor?
Yes? Susan, you want
Yes, thank you. I also think that's an excellent idea. I've been following that opportunity to, you know, see if we can follow through. I was so glad that the governor did sign that into law. I've been following it a bit and trying to see what we could do to slow people down and then stop the red light running in school districts as well. So I understand after speaking to our vendor a while ago that this is very much a good opportunity for us to do that since the contract is scheduled to renew if the council so desires. I would support that as well.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Do you need to say renew and expand or just renew?
No,
Sorry, 'cause you're expanding.
I'm saying it renew and expand.
That's what I was,
The 2 locations that Mr. Lemack mentioned, and then the school zones.
absolutely.
Okay, you have direction.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very, very important. Okay. You all see the schedule of the next meetings. Our next meeting, which is September 6th, will be our first budget hearing. And we also have a CRA meeting that night and a council meeting. So it's going to be a long night, so be prepared. I can't believe it's almost September already. This is crazy, the way the time is flying. We're going to go on now to council member comments. Michelle, would you like to start?
Thank you, Mayor. This afternoon, I attended the town's backpack giveaway at the Rick and Rita Case Boys and Girls Club. The program was led by the Strategic Planning Committee, and they collected several back-to-school supplies throughout the town. Today, there were 120 backpacks with school supplies that were handed out. I want to thank everyone from our staff and members of the public who donated to this program. We honestly would not have been able to do it without everyone's help. Tomorrow, Davie Pal is having their backpack giveaway as well. Our Davie Fire Rescue Benevolent is hosting a spaghetti dinner on Monday, August 21st at 5:30 p.m. Funds are being raised to provide the EMS team with an opportunity to compete in the World Rescue Challenge in Spain. Please come out to Fire Station 86 and support the event. And that's all for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I don't have a whole lot to say, but I tell you, it's really nice to sit up here and we have this stuff where we take care of the homeless and all. This is a great town. I really just love how proactive and the response that we have here. I love this town. I can't say enough about it. One of the things I wanted to say, and I'm speaking on this from personally, is we're in August. It's hot. You need to be very careful with your animals. I'm not hearing enough of that from a lot of people, and I know personally, I compete in a working dog sport, and I haven't been able to do it for the last 2 weeks because of the heat. And I know having the horse and all that, we've had to take different precautions, with the heat and wet them during the day and make sure that, I have plenty of shade and fans and stuff. And talking to the vet this last weekend, that's been a big problem this summer with the animals. So I caution you to be careful because they won't give you a warning before they overheat. So, please be careful with that. And Mayor, that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, electrolytes for the horses are on their menu. So that's important. Carol, would you like to have it? Susan, do you have anything to?
Yes, Mayor, I do, actually. I want to welcome all the teachers and students back to a new and successful school year. And both public and private have begun, the private schools already. And just want everybody to remind them to be safe. Also, last week I attended the Florida League of Cities conference in Orlando. And a lot of interesting topics were discussed, as well as much of our policy decision-making for our legislative agendas. And we swore in our new president, which is Florida League of Cities President Greg Ross from Cooper City. And I was also sworn in as a board of directors for the state board as well. So we'll bring back a lot of interesting topics when I have, once I feel better. I think I overdid it, but that's what you get when you're on like 4 or 5 committees. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for their well wishes and get well soon wishes. I appreciate it very much. And to that, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I alluded to this before, but we are shocked at the disappearance of 2 horses, young horses, out in Southwest Ranches, and I know our police force is working diligently to try to locate them. And when it hits so close to home, It's really a tremendous concern. It's a concern no matter where it is, but that's just a little close to home. Now, when the first cases of horses being stolen and being slaughtered happened in Miami-Dade, I initiated a program called Barn Watch, which was basically very similar to a crime watch, but we had special signs. As a matter of fact, I noticed the one that's out in front of the equestrian park is very faded, and I know we would possibly like to look at having those signs replicated, and then going into another program, including Southwest Ranches, of course. Southwest Ranches was involved with it the first time. We had a lot of people right here at the old town hall. We had a tremendous meeting, and there were probably 60, 70 people that came out to that meeting that were concerned, and many of them got the signs. I know I have one up at my home, and there are some on the trail system, and there are still plenty of homes that I know that have the sign, but we need to go through another education process, I think. So we're going to be working on that. And I want to thank the police chief for helping with that. I wanted to announce that the help of the Florida Trail Riders and Mr. Pullman, that we have opened the arena again to open rides on Thursdays, selected Thursdays. A list of dates has been put out. I know some people from the Davie Rodeo Association wanted, I don't know if they called you, were wondering if their insurance policy would allow them to be involved too. So I'd like to have that discussion with you. And speaking of Davie Rodeo Association, the reason I wasn't at the last meeting was that I was over at the arena helping to give out awards and take pictures with the winners of the Summer Belt Buckle Series. It was a great event. It was also a very, very thunder, lightning show. As a matter of fact, we visibly saw a lightning strike in the old town hall lot. So what they had to do is they had to bring all those kids and all those horses into the arena during the lightning storm. So it kind of put us back till about an hour and a half until the storm passed. And I had to leave. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and they weren't halfway finished. And I think some of the groups were there until 3 o'clock in the morning. But this was the most people I have ever seen involved in this program, and it's such a wonderful thing because, when you see these kids with their horses, and I've always said to people, if you've got animals, you're taking care of them, you're accepting responsibility, you're not fooling around, you're not out on the streets, you're not getting into trouble. This is what we call good trouble. So I want to commend the Davie Rodeo Association for continuing this program and making sure that these kids had a safe and valuable experience. We had a India Independence Day and Onam celebration over at Ivanhoe this last Sunday, and the Vice Mayor was there and Councilmember Hatton were there, and it was a very, very nice program. And I'd like to mention anybody that would like to go, and it's open for everybody, is that Kerala Samajam is having their Onam celebration at Cooper City High School on Saturday night. It starts around 5 o'clock in the cafeteria with a dinner, and then it moves a parade through the campus, and might as well turn it off. And then the evening portion starts around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and it's entertainment. I mean, this young people express their love for their culture, and the dances and the songs are just marvelous. So anybody that might be interested in going to that, it is open to the public. You know, we all received invitations to go to a school of our choice on the first day of school. And I had the opportunity to talk with one of the school board members, as a matter of fact, very recently, and explain to her why I do not go to that opening day. And, you know, as teachers, or those of us that are teachers, that first day of school can be bedlam. And the last thing they need is an elected official who's going to take the time away from the duties of the principal and some of the teachers to entertain us for a photo op, and that's the way I look at it. And I said to her, you know, we're very close with our schools. We go and we read to the kids. We go for events. We're at those schools anytime they need us. And, you know, career days, et cetera, et cetera. So, and, you know, when we do the National Lunch Program, we do a proclamation, and I go to a school or two and present the proclamation to the principal and have lunch in the cafeteria with a school board member. So, you know, we have plenty of time and we have plenty of opportunities to go to the schools and show our support. The parents aren't interested in seeing us there. There's hundreds of them dropping their kids off. And so, you know, I appreciate the invitation, but I have never done that because of my feelings as a teacher, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Carol, that that's the last thing they need on the first day of school. So we wish you all a very wonderful new year in the schools, and hopefully it'll be an uneventful one filled with learning and wonderful friendships being made. Now, I've got two things that I want to go over. One is that we're hearing a lot of chatter on social media about the issue of an incinerator out near 27. Now, we know with the waste program and everything, this is only one of, I believe, 3 locations, and people are jumping the gun and they're speaking without any knowledge. But I want to bring up something. And years ago, I recommended the use of a digester, an anaerobic digester, which if purchased then would have already been paid for. The same way in 1986 when I recommended to the county that they do a desalinization plant, which they told me was out of the question because it was too expensive. But if they had done it then, that probably would have been paid for already too. But the anaerobic digester digests food waste, manure, landscaping debris, and the byproduct is twofold. One, it creates energy, credits, and can run the electricity for a number of buildings. I know there are a lot of cities in the United States that have converted totally to digesters for their waste collection. And the other byproduct is fertilizer pellets. What they can generate from this waste is fertilizer. So, which could then be utilized, you know, within the town, would save us some money from that. So I really think that we need to be proactive. And I know we've talked about putting a digester out at the farm park to deal with the manure, but, you know, that's only one small aspect. But, you know, maybe this is something we should present at that committee and kind of take a look at. That and look at some of the cities in the United States, and I know I was, with the Conference of Mayors, have been on several committees where we have heard presentations from these communities and from these cities about how their digester program works and how successful it is. So I'd like to work with you, Mr. Lemack, and kind of see if this isn't something that we can promote on a larger level. And again, we're very lucky because we've been proactive. We've been being proactive with our water issues and looking at ways to hold water and benefit the community from the flooding issues that we face from time to time. So here's another area where we can be proactive. The other thing that I'd like to be proactive on, there's been a lot of talk lately about the use of hemp and how hemp grows faster than trees. They're replacing in many areas the fiber. Of course, you can grow anywhere. You don't have to use pesticides. And the hemp products, and they're talking, I mean, you can look this up, houses, cars. And I didn't know this. So one of the car manufacturers had a hemp car running on hemp fuel years ago. And so we need to start looking at this. Even if we could research it, and maybe in one of our parks that we're going to be doing, have one of the buildings as a beacon for the future, and could be something that we could educate people about and have them come and view. So I'd like to also look into this. And I think the hemp car run on hemp fuel was really fascinating to me, especially since we're going to the electric. But we know deep down that those batteries, those electric car batteries, are going to be a very serious problem with disposal in relationships with the environment. So if we can work on hydrogen cars and hemp cars, this is the way of the future, how we're going to save the planet. So we all have to start some small way. So I'm here to save the planet. That's it. Gave you a lot of stuff to chew on tonight. Mr. Lemack?
All right, there you go. Thank you. I just want to note Osdell's here on his day off. I should have bought him some movie tickets or something in the back of the room. I just wanted to share something with everybody. When our employees work hard and achieve their goals, all of us like to recognize them. So I would like to talk about Ariana Brasino, who's sitting right there in the front. I know you. Hi. Ariana is our public relations assistant, has been part of our Davie family since March 2020. She began her career with us right before the pandemic began, and even though things were shifting rapidly, she pivoted and adjusted seamlessly to the ever-changing environment. While she started out as a part-time employee, it wasn't long before we realized she was the right fit for the department and the town, and she was later promoted to a full-time team member. Ms. Brasino has many exceptional skills, including writing, speaking, and a remarkable eye for social media and videos, as well as stories. These aren't the only positive traits that made Ariana stand out. Her calm, positive demeanor and attitude made it easy to interact with her. On Friday, August 11, 2023, Ms. Brasino proudly walked across the University of Florida stage to accept her master's degree in journalism along with a graduate certificate in global strategic communications. Through countless study and presentation hours. She completed her studies online while working full-time with the town, attending our events, taking pictures, filming various town videos, training staff, working on various publications. She was nonstop. Today, we are proud, and it would be an understatement while she's not here tonight, but I was surprised that she is. So thank you. And we want to celebrate. We did celebrate it with her today in the office, but we wanted to share. With you his accomplishment. So, Ariana, I'm glad you're here. You're wonderful to work with every day. So again, please join me in congratulating Ariana.
Congratulations. Double applause.
And
Very nice. Thank you.
That's my good news. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're here this evening.
Have
Mr.
to-
Weinthal?
I have to thank Leona, too, for helping me.
Okay. Thank you, Lena.
And we might as well get it out of the way. We might as well just go ahead and thank Jeff, too. I mean, that's okay.
We have a lot of people to thank every day. I mean, this family, this town of Davie is a warm family, and all the employees and everybody get along and do a wonderful job and really make us look very, very good. And we certainly appreciate everybody's effort. Thank you. Mr. Weinthal, we love you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you have a hard job.
Thank you. I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. If there are no objections, we're adjourned.